Hello everyone and welcome back to episode 7 of our Let's Learn series for Victoria 3, where we are playing as a one state nation of Serbia, which is a little nation wedged between Austria and Ottoman Empire in Eastern Europe. And we've made it to 1845, January 1st, 1845 so far in the previous 6 episodes, because we're playing slowly and deliberately, going over every decision we make and every mechanic that we encounter in the game, and just seeing slowly how it feeds through the game and the game's various political and economic systems. So let's go ahead and unpause at a speed of 2, keep the time ticking slowly. But we made it to January 1845. Our goal is to gain independence from the Ottoman Empire eventually and unite the Serbian people living under the yoke of the Ottoman and the Austrian empires. To that end, we're going to need to build up our military, and in order to build up our military, we need manpower and we need a big enough economy to have enough government budget to actually pay for that military. To that end, we are doing everything to grow our industry, to grow our GDP in general, and build our domestic arms industry, as when hostilities eventually break out with the Ottomans or with Austrians, we do want to make sure we have a secure supply of small arms and artillery. We are also growing our economy to raise our GDP and raise our budget surplus. And initially, we are also actually put all of our efforts into so far, because of politics and economics really, to grow our population growth rate, which is now growing at 1.15%. Excellent. And during last episode, we've actually managed to enact migration controls, and so we're now opened our borders to our Serbian and broader Yugoslav brothers, who are now migrating quite en masse. Sorry, I don't know what's wrong with the tooltips. So we're getting 9,000 people a year, plus 1% effectively of our population. We get migrants from Skopje, Northern Thrace, Bulgaria, Ottoman Montenegro, Southern Serbia, Dodruja, and Bosnia. So we're getting Serbians and some Bulgarians migrating to us. That is excellent, increasing our manpower and labor pool and labor market, and therefore the potential for our economy. And we continue to build up our economy. So we've built one of each. The manufacturers, we built actually 2 paper mills. Our private sector built an additional paper mill. Our private sector is also in the process of building an additional arms industry. Not sure if that was necessary, but they are doing so anyway. We're building a government administration center currently to increase some of our bureaucracy and get back some of this state construction bonus from having excess bureaucracy, right, where it's the excess is equal to the total usage, and also just to future-proof ourselves. As we grow our population quite quickly, we'll need bureaucracy to administer it. We might also gain new institutions that we might have to spend our bureaucracy on. Other than that, let's have a look quickly. So I know all of these are profitable. Let's have a look at our iron mines, but I want to actually have a look at our logging camps. In fact, perhaps add a logging camp. Let's just go to our building construction, and I'll put that even ahead of our artillery foundry, as I don't expect that to be too profitable, given we're not consuming a lot of artillery. We'll probably be exporting most of that to the Ottoman Empire. So I'll put that ahead just to reduce that price a little bit. Now, we are also enacting poor laws at the moment due to this movement. It has already emerged at the start of the game, and it is supported by 300,000 peasants and laborers at the very least, along with some shopkeepers and others, which is about almost a third, more than a third of our population. They have proposed or petitioned the king to enact this before. We have tried to enact it, but the landowners, interest group, right, the hereditary aristocrats, have successfully stalled it a few years ago. Yet our peasants have come back to the king, our fatherland, the father of our nation, and have petitioned him to enact it again, and so we're doing so. Now, let's go through this event. We have a stalled event again for the enactment of poor laws. Some social reformers among the intelligentsia have spoken out against the proposed poor laws, viewing them as an attempt to make poverty itself a crime. If I may bring your attention to the design of the most ambitious workhouse plans, you may notice a striking similarity to our most modern attempts at constructing ideal prisons. This is because they are prisons. Prisons intended to house people who have committed no crime, where the purpose is not justice but punishment and exploitation of the weak for its own ends. Okay, so the default answer is there must be ways for this new system to respect personal liberty. We get minus 20% enactment success chance, which is already standing at 25. Or we can say the poor are a burden on society, a crime in itself. Indeed, you don't want to be a burden on the Serbian nation where we're looking towards greater things, right? Our Serbian brothers are choking under the yoke of the Ottoman and Austrian empires. And so everyone needs to do their bit. That's what I think. Intelligentsia gets -2 approval. That's alright. They will think they can stomach it. They're not being very helpful to the nation anyway. We get minus 10% enactment success chance. Oh, frustrating. Oh, I really hope poor laws are not. We actually traded a setback for something like, like a 20 or 15% increase, right? But now we've had 2 stall events. 37%, yeah, it's quite a big chance. Well, ultimately, we're 50%, should be 50% of success or advance, or at least debate. But we hit stall twice already. Okay, 3rd time lucky. France ended their embargo. Okay, that doesn't really matter. But yeah, guys, otherwise we have small budget surplus. We're building up our gold reserves again. Why? Because we're preparing for the eventual outbreak of hostilities, and we want that money to be able to finance all the conscripts we're going to raise and all the military we're going to pay for. Yeah, we don't want to build it up too quickly, but we are, constructing one building effectively with one construction sector and building up just a tiny bit. We definitely don't want to be running a deficit as a minor nation, especially at the start of the game. Interest rates are exorbitant. We have unlocked banking, so we do have a reduced 2% interest rate. Although now that we lost, pardon me, now we lost the benefit of petite bourgeoisie, who unfortunately have been marginalized, although it seems like they're back on the rise. We've lost the 10% interest rate bonus, so we're actually at 18% as opposed to 16%. So hopefully we need to get petite bourgeoisie back in power. We are bolstering petite bourgeoisie and we're bolstering Orthodox Church for the birth rate and other benefits, right? What is it giving us? It's giving us divine right plus 20% authority and be fruitful and multiply. We want to continue to instill the values of family and caring for children in our population and increasing birth rate by 5%. Yeah, so to that end. But at least the power of landowners, the traditional hereditary aristocracy is declining slowly. So that should be pushing, political power to other groups. But oddly enough, the industrialists, despite being suppressed, continue to gain in popularity. In fact, it's only 869 people that support them. The issue is that the very rich people. It's the richest shopkeepers that support industrialists. And why are they so rich? We need to make these buildings a little less rich. That's what I think. So these iron mines, they're just gorging armored trade centers. Okay, 9,000 of them are in trade centers. Urban centers, but we can't do anything about urban centers because transportation is really expensive, so it is profitable. Paper mills, arms, food. Okay, food industries, they're actually impoverished. Yet they still support industrialists. Who supports petite bourgeoisie? Mostly also shopkeepers, interestingly. But it's the ones that are middling. Yeah. Okay, so let's try and do something about it. Let's get a couple of logging camps then. Law stalled. Failing contraction, stalled in progress, and decreasing enactment successions by 15%. Oh, that's it. That's at next checkpoint, we're going to get a setback. These poor laws just aren't happening. This is because landowners maintain, right? So just go over the mechanics here. The reason this is the case is because it's a political movement. Now, we did actually start out with a decent amount of support because there is a decent amount of just a number of people who support this, and altogether they do have some political strength, right? Advance chance was double that. Right now it's 35%. Debate is 27%, but stall chance, you see, it depends on the clout of landowners. Why is it landlords in this case? Is because the landowners, sorry, they're the ones who oppose this. So if we click on landowners, we go to overview, in fact laws, right? And we go, well, in fact, a second, excuse me. So we go to landowners, we go to their ideologies, right? It's a patriarchal, stratocratic, welfare. There you go. Welfare. They're actually neutral towards poor laws. Interesting. Wait, what about their leader? He's alright. I mean, they're actually neutral towards it. But I guess... Okay, they're neutral towards poor laws, but they endorse no social security. So when you switch from them to no social security to poor laws, they obviously prefer the previous option, so they try to stall it. This group favors maintaining a hierarchy in society through traditional forms of taxation and labor relations, right? So they want to keep things traditional. Oh, petite bourgeoisie is back. Okay, that's good. But there we are. That is what's effectively happening. That because at least they're losing clout, losing political power, right? And that means, yeah, the chance to stall is decreasing. The chance to debate is ultimately increasing. Okay, success chance going to 1%. That's probably because support for poor laws is increasing slowly. There's more and more people demanding this. Let's see what happens. To speed 3. Yeah, so we can even build 2 logging camps, as we're now using quite a bit of wood in various industries. So we can even go buildings. Go ahead and push up 2 logging camps and then artillery. And that will hopefully reduce the profits of these shopkeepers, bring them down a notch, because they're super rich right now. Iron and Island starting improving relations. Okay. Grassroots support for the law advance event. The political wills and desires of the lower classes will always remain an opaque matter. For whatever reason, support for poor laws has spread like wildfire across Serbia, spurred on by charismatic speakers and lively debates in small-time social clubs. They're backing what now? Well, who are we to complain? While their support was never a prerequisite for success, it sure does not hurt to have it either. Public enthusiasm expedites reform, plus 20% political movement support. Okay, movement to enact poor laws gets grassroots support permanently. Industrialists get grassroots support, plus 10% interest group attraction. Or use common ground to calm the masses. 20% of lower strata become more loyalist. 20% of strata become more loyalist. Now, we don't want industrialists to get grassroots support. Right? Use common ground to calm the masses. 20%? Oof. Yeah, that is huge. That is huge. We just got 160,000 loyalists from events. Boom. Wow. Okay. Ottoman Empire ended their embargo of Egypt. Look, is there anything we can export? Oh, look at this. Iron we can export. Artillery, clippers. Can we export small arms? What else do we have? A second. Bureaucratic imbroglio. Oh, stall event. Lawmakers working towards the enactment of poor laws have found themselves mired in a particularly complex set of bureaucratic proceedings, grinding the work towards reform to a near halt. The fully developed bureaucratic apparatus compares with other organizations exactly as does the machine with the non-mechanical modes of production. That is to say, the teeth of its individual gears meet in a chord, where its gears will gnash and churn until it eventually breaks. Oh, damn this labyrinthine legal system. Plus 20% enactment time and minus 10% enactment success chance. Or cut through at least some of the red tape. I think so. We lose 5% bureaucracy, plus 10% bureaucrats and not necessarily become more radical. We don't have a lot of bureaucrats. 10% enactment time. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. God, pushing this thing through the legislature. We're still on the introduction phase as well. We got 1% success chance. Crikey. Oh, this is gonna be a slog. Okay, so this is not necessarily most of our GDP. Let's have a look I was going to look at the market. If we click on highlights here in the Ottoman market, monthly price report. So iron moved up in price, small arms moved up in price. Goods with considerable import demand, goods with considerable export potential for export. Hardwood, wine, sugar, silk. We don't have any of these. So hardwood we could export, or wine. Law debate failed. Poor laws fared poorly in public debates, decreasing enactment success chance by 10%. Oh, 10%. Oh, it's 0. Okay, it's gonna get another setback, I think, right? Or it's just gonna be removed. Dear me. Legislative failures. Despite many efforts on the part of the government to successfully revive poor laws from its present imbroglio, the law has come to be regarded as nothing but an inevitable failure. We must sponsor a complete rewrite of the bill. The enactment of poor laws in Serbia gains one setback. Previous outcomes will be removed in Serbia. Benefits of corruption. Okay, so all of it gets removed. Okay, we must sponsor a complete rewrite of the bill. There we go. Let's start again. Okay, I didn't actually know such an event can occur. But apparently it can. Okay, 2 setbacks. But guys, okay. Clean slate. Let's rewrite this thing. An Orthodox Church petitioned government. Representing his constituents in the Orthodox Church, Milutin Yankovic has issued formal petition to the Serb government to pass censorship. One last... Okay, that's fine. So basically, I don't like this text. We will see what we can do. The Orthodox Church will expect the government to pass censorship within the next 5 years. Okay, let's put speed 2. So what do they expect us to pass? Let's have a look. So this is under human rights, free speech. So what mode of free speech are we operating under in our country? Now, we can't click on anything because we're enacting another law, therefore everything else is grayed out. But what is rights of assembly, which is what we have now? Citizens enjoy the right to public assembly. Probably the only piece of progressive legislation Serbia starts with. A legacy of some medieval peasant revolt, probably. But here we have plus 50 authority. That gives us, right? And we have minus 30% suppression impact on interest group attraction and plus 30% bolstered impact on interest groups. So basically, when we bolster or suppress, first of all, we have that ability with rights of assembly, and that gives minus or plus 30% in interest group attraction, right? Whereas Orthodox Church wants us to go to censorship. That will give us an extra 50 authority as we go from 50 to 100, right? And it will give us minus or plus 40% suppression on interest groups. It will let us shape our political landscape a little better. It will, however, come with a drawback of minus 10% technology spread, which is not great. But I don't think we get a lot of technology spread anyway, because we don't have a lot of literacy. So that's kind of okay. And we can shape our nation a bit better. So it's not too bad. And we have huge support. Landowners, armed forces, Orthodox Church, and petty bourgeoisie all love censorship. Okay, well, that will be next thing we're gonna have to pass it, because you see, when an interest group petitions you to do something, that means it doesn't start a political movement because it's an interest group in government, right? The way they kind of make it known that they really want to pass something is through petitions, right? And you see, will time out in 5 years if completed, right? So it says here, poor laws has successfully progressed to the consideration phase. Thank you. If completed, plus 5% of Orthodox Church members pops in Serbia become more loyalist, and we get responsive governance, which gives us plus 10 legitimacy for 9 years. If failed, however, Orthodox Church gets failed petition decaying for 9 years. It gets minus 10 interest group approval, minus 20, right? If this is failed, but if the time runs out, we get minus 15 interest group approval, and we cannot afford to annoy the Orthodox Church, because we need to be at 8 at least to keep them loyal, right? They're above 20%, so we're getting plus 5% birth rate. That is a cornerstone of our national ideology and strategy. So we need to pass poor laws ASAP, and then we need to get on with passing censorship, because we don't have that much time, right? 4 years is some time. Not a great amount of time. Now, mechanical tools unlocked. That's through spread. Handcrafted goods can be of exceptional quality, but for consistency and rapidity in production, mechanical aids are needed. That unlocks precision tools and steel tools for tooling workshops and precision tools for furniture manufacturers to produce more. Now, we're not going to be using any of these. Again, we've talked about this in previous episodes, but the reason for that is because when we switch these production methods, for example, first of all, steel tools would require steel, so there's not much to talk about there. But furniture manufacturers, we could actually unlock lathes, right? That means we'll produce more simple furniture. We actually become more profitable because the price of furniture is actually higher. So this is actually a viable option. However, we would rather build a second level of furniture manufacturers because that will mean we produce more furniture, but we produce it by employing more people and upskilling more of our peasants into laborers, while also maintaining ownership in the hands of shopkeepers who should support petite bourgeoisie, unlike capitalists who are part of the upper strata and will mostly support industrialists, whose ideology is just far too radical for the time. They don't gel with monarchy and autocracy. So that is why, in this case, I would prefer to just build a second building of furniture. Now, we could actually also, interestingly, switch to luxury furniture production and produce less furniture but more luxury furniture, right? Which costs, currently it will cost 58, and the projected after substitution will be +6 to 9 in terms of weekly balance, but we'll definitely queue one of these up. That is for sure. We will also, in fact, we might as well just go ahead and switch it right now. And in fact, I'm going to go to buildings, construction, and move furniture above artillery foundry. Artillery is important for our strategy, but it's, you know, there's no urgency in getting artillery foundry. It's unlikely to be too, you know, very profitable either. So, as another stall event for the enactment of poor laws. Oh, to outside observers, the industrialists may appear firmly committed to the idea of poor laws, but behind the facade, this facade of unity, discord has long festered. Now, a clique of dissenters have finally had enough and have officially broken with their fellow members over the issue of reform. For how long have we stood together? How many times have we lent a willing hand your way? Yet our own concerns are left unanswered, and our desires left unmet. If we shall not be heard here, we shall be so elsewhere. Splitters, may the devil take them. Minus 15% enactment success chance, minus 15% interest group attraction. Oh, loosen the purse strings. Perhaps we can lure some of them back. Minus 10% enactment success chance. Oh, 10 government expense, yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to spend £100. Industrialists still get minus 5% interest group attraction. Okay, let's spend £100. Puts us into a small deficit. It's okay. This is what gold reserves are for. We lost 10% success chance. That means we're at 24% and we are only one setback away from failing this completely. Oh dear. Dear, oh dear. Okay, Petite Bourgeoisie is again rapidly gaining clout. Excellent. That is excellent. Now, we were talking about, yeah, building one more. So we built 2 more logging camps. Still, the wood is expensive. Now, okay, at this point, it is getting a little bit... it's fine. Plus 25% is not too bad. For example, at some point, it does get a little excessive, right? If we build 5 logging camps, we're now kind of hemorrhaging labor there. But we still have plenty of labor left. So that's not a big problem. It's just that when we eventually do switch into, for example, something like sawmills, we'll produce an absolute bonkers amount of wood, right? We'll go to 150. Like, we will just double overnight. That's tricky. That's tricky because, yeah. But, yeah, again, I'd still say that for now, the benefit of employing more laborers, so putting more peasants into laborers, upskilling them and increasing their standard of living actually benefits us more than, yeah, saving that labor. It's okay. Yeah, we have plenty of labor, so I would just keep building these if we need to. But plus 24% in price from base is all right. Just these guys are just very well off, and that's okay. We're using a lot of wood, and are likely to continue using a lot of wood until we switch to a better construction method, maybe. We will switch away from wood eventually. But furniture manufacturers, we're building an extra one. Arms industries. Okay, our private sector is building one. Okay. Iron mines. Okay, iron is getting a bit expensive. We can actually build an iron mine as well after our artillery foundries. Hang on. Popular playwright endorses reform. In the midst of the debate surrounding poor laws, one of the country's leading playwrights strongly associated with the industrialists has staged a widely acclaimed play whose politically laden theme makes no secret of the author's desire for the law to be passed. The man's viewpoints may be somewhat partisan, but sir, you cannot argue with his prose. Yeah, but this event you will always have to take. Let us ensure this playwright gets a wider international audience, because we get 20 prestige, right? We're currently at 43. We need to be above 25 to maintain our minor power rank. But it's good to have more prestige and just be comfortably above that threshold. Because other countries are catching up and the average does tick up over time. So let's go ahead. I mean, other options here, they're all positive because it's an advance event for the law. That means they're all kind of positive options, right? We get 10% enactment success chance. We can get 10% interest group attraction for industrialists. Ooh, or we can get 20 prestige. I mean, 10% success chance is also nice, but I don't feel like it's really enough. If we do fail this, it's not the end of the world. Let's go ahead and let us ensure the play gets a wider international audience. So let's go ahead and do that. Now, as we were saying, let's build an iron mine as well. But let's go again to buildings construction. Let's actually put iron mine also ahead of artillery. Again, because artillery is frankly unlikely to be terribly profitable. In fact, it shows here it will be unprofitable. So let's reduce the cost of some of its inputs, right? Iron, for example, and then build it later. We will need it for our own domestic artillery or arms industry. We can also just create a few artillery battalions to kind of just create some local domestic demand. We'll do that, so it can wait. But yeah, we haven't given up entirely on the idea of building it. Okay, groceries, interesting. Mildly profitable otherwise. Yeah, vineyard level 2. Wine is super cheap. What you're gonna do? Livestock ranch is actually not employing a lot of people. Interesting. Clergyman subsistence farms in northern Serbia with 1.8 qualified clergymen are willing to work for a wage of 8.42. They would accept a wage of 9.99. Wow. They love their subsistence farms. Wheat farms also are struggling. The building does not have the funds to hire anyone. Okay. It's not profitable, so it's basically because all the wheat that... yeah, I guess we import wheat from other places. Our subsistence farms provide a lot of the wheat that we actually use in our market. That's okay. That is okay. Government administration that we've built, we can actually go to filing cabinets and use some of the paper and get a little more bureaucracy, but do we need it? Not really. Let's not waste money. Okay, hang on. Law stalled. Poor laws is failing to gain traction. Stalling progress and decreasing enactment success chance by 15%. Crikey. Again, guys, landowners have lost even more clout now, right? And yet still it's stalling. I mean, this is rigged. I mean, we're at 50% chance of success or advance, right? Dear me. Okay. Well, we have unlocked intensive agriculture. By integrating food production into the industrial supply chain, it is possible to realize much higher yields. That is excellent. Let's press OK. Let's go to research and now have a think what is next. In terms of production, we discussed it in the last episode as to what's good. We have atmospheric engine spreading, so that's fine. There's nothing really else we really need. So I would suggest we go military. In terms of military, again, giving skirmish. It would be nice to get logistics because that gives us plus 20% conscriptable battalions, so we can actually mobilize more conscripts in the event of a war, which then also leads to enlistment officers, which gives another 20% conscriptable battalions modifier and allows us to adopt mass conscription. Mass conscription basically means we can both build a lot of barracks, have an army, and we can conscript up to 100 battalions, right? Conscription rate is 3%. And compared to peasant levies, which is at 4%, but still 100% training rate, and only 5% morale loss as opposed to 10% in peasant levies, which I'll show later. So this is a good one to get, because when we fight the Ottomans again, they have something like 200 to 250 battalions. We're going to need everything we possibly can have, everything we can muster as our one-state nation. Right? Hopefully we can get 50 battalions, maybe we'll probably get, maybe 70. We're going to need to arm them to the teeth. It's going to be a do or die. But maybe we're not quite there yet, so let's leave this for now, perhaps. Let's go to society. What else can we do? So we have now option of central banking, which we discussed before, 5 years. And we'd get 10% minting and minus 2% loan interest. We're not borrowing any money, so we don't need the reduction in interest rate. But we could mint more money. That's certainly a good thing, right? That would increase our budget surplus, help us maintain that little surplus and keep building up our gold reserves. Postal savings plus 20% maximum cash reserves. Okay, what that does, so each building we have 20% extra cash, which it will use in event of where it becomes unprofitable for a while, which is, typically either if it's unprofitable, it's probably unprofitable for much longer. But the other great benefit of maximum cash reserves is that when you add them all up, that determines what your maximum national debt can be. So you can borrow more and more up to the sum of all of your cash reserves, because they're basically the collateral for the creditors. Because when if you declare bankruptcy, when you max out your credit line and you think you can't pay, if you if you choose to declare bankruptcy, you will wipe out all the cash reserves across all buildings. And pops care, right? Pops who own a building or an industry, they actually they consider that cash part of their wealth, and if that gets wiped out, they get annoyed. That does affect their, not sure if it affects their standard of living, but it certainly does radicalize them pretty quickly. Now, postal savings could also give us 15 farmers investment full contribution and shopkeepers. And we have a lot of shopkeepers, so we could do postal savings actually. Or central banking, that would give us 10% minting. I guess that's okay. Our GDP will continue to grow, so this should actually flip to a positive pretty soon. Plus we're spending that sort of 100k in additional expenses for no reason. Perhaps let's go get postal savings, because then we'll build up our gold reserves. We'll increase... okay, this will increase shopkeepers' investment pool contribution efficiency. And to be honest... yeah, I mean, our investment pool contribution is fine. Let's actually go central banking, and then we go postal savings, I think. And let's go ahead and unpause and keep going. Yeah, so let's go mint more, so that we actually put ourselves in a comfortable surplus and increase gold reserves. I think that's good. Okay, GDP is doing really well. We've quadrupled our GDP over this. It's actually 10 years, so, potentially time to kind of draw a line, but we've quadrupled our GDP over the last 10 years. We have almost quadrupled our GDP per capita as well. Our population has grown from 809,000, so we've grown by 90,000. Not actually that much, but I guess now we're growing 10,000 per year from pop growth, but we're also getting 12,000 migrants now. So we will start growing really quickly, right? So we're adding, again, go population, we're adding 22,000 people. Okay, well, it kind of averages, so I guess we have about 20,000 pops per year. So that's 5,000 workers. That's a building's worth. Yeah, we can build a building a year, and it will maintain our peasants at about 100,000. We will need manpower to conscript. If we conscript, say right now we can conscript 12 battalions. So it shows it here. The way that works is that it says it's plus 12 from 219,000 conscriptable population, right? So with a conscription rate of 5.6%. All right, so we have 220,000 conscriptable population, because we have 220,000, I think, probably working adult males, I would assume. And we can conscript, 5.6% of that. Where does that come from? 4% is but kind of the number determined by our army sort of law, army policy. We have 4% from peasant levies, and we get 20% from mandatory service tech, 20% from army reserves tech. Oof, advanced event for the enactment of poor laws. The prospect of workhouses including religious instruction in their work has allowed the proposal of poor laws to gain favor with the Orthodox Church. What is the difference between the man who is pursued by poverty to his own destruction and the ascetic who pursues poverty for the betterment of his soul? The answer surely lies not in the nature of material poverty, but in poverty of the spirit. This is the form of poverty that the workhouses most desperately need to alleviate. Moral principles can be instilled without the help of the Orthodox Church, plus 10% success chance, enactment success, or we get plus 20% enactment success chance. But 10% of Sunni pops become radical, but we don't have many of those at all. Orthodox Church gains 10% political strength and plus 1 interest approval. Yes, that is exactly what we need. I mean, we have practically, if we go to quickly population charts, let's have a look. Religion. Sunni is only 1,500 and 10%. So we got 150 radicals, right? 146 radicals from events. This is the 10% of Sunnis that became radical. Here we are. Okay. Logging camps, we got iron mines. We're actually building more furniture manufactories. Perfect. So we're now building both luxury furniture and just furniture. Okay. So we have, what do we have? 3 buildings aligned. Yeah. We have labor for it. Law progress to adoption. Yes, excellent. Excellent. How much time do we have? Okay. Hopefully we have enough time because we need to get onto censorship ASAP. Population is growing. That's excellent. We need to... Yes, our lowest strata is now on average at 8. Excellent. That's increasing their... Well, it's decreasing their birth rate, again, decreasing their mortality rate, but decreasing their mortality rate by more. The birth rate are faster, so the differential grows. Literacy is low, so there is no penalty from literacy on birth rate. We have Orthodox Church modifiers activated and doubled because they're powerful, right? That's their traits. The trait, be fruitful, multiply. They have more than 20% cloud. In fact, they have 30% cloud now. So, right, we get doubled. That bonus is doubled to now 5%. So we're doing Dragan Obrenović retires. The Emperor leader of intelligentsia has retired from political life. Dragiza Anastasievich, known pacifist, now leads the interest group. Okay, let's go ahead. We seems to, things are going well. Okay, Petit Bourgeoisie is now finally up to 13.7%. Okay, we are starting to lose a tiny bit of legitimacy. That is mainly because landowners keep declining in clout, which is not so bad because they won't be able to stall progressive laws that we will adopt or start adopting soon. We have this journal entry that we do want to complete, which is religion, autocracy, nationality. Our nation is defined by the absolute authority of our beloved ruler. We are one family with one father and one fatherland, united and strong. If we wish to preserve these values, the autocracy must be maintained. So we want to maintain a monarchy, state, religion, and autocracy for 30 years. So until 1866, Poor Laws has attracted new supporters, increasing enactment success by 15%. Excellent. Okay, one more success and we're done. Yeah, so we need to keep our pops happy, not have any revolution. That's the only thing that can derail us, and maintain this for 30 years. So we do need to maintain kind of government legitimacy, because that is what will prevent, that isn't one of the factors that can start generating a lot of radicals, right? If the government is illegitimate. Although only if the standard of living actually starts to fall, right? So if standard of living falls and you don't have a legitimate government, that is when things can spiral out of control very quickly. Like, for example, I don't know, Russia at the end of World War One, right? There was starvation, people had to fight, massive casualties, so the government was considered to be illegitimate, and standard of living was falling massively. That is what leads to revolutions. But we'll take care of the fatherland. Oof, we're at average 9.9. Our lowest rating is now at 8.5. Excellent. Excellent. Let's keep building. Okay, more arms industries. Not sure we want to crash the price. That's why, I'm not a massive... People always say that, investment pool is important. That's why you get capitalists, etc., etc. But I find that, I frankly... So far, we've had more than enough of the investment pool. And they make, I'd say, still... on the one hand, I'm impressed. Like, I think 70-80% of the time, they actually do build a sensible building. But sometimes they build a bit of an odd one. Like, I don't know why they built second level of vineyards. They are building second level of wheat farms, which can't even employ people. We now have poor laws. Right, so we hit the success chance on that law. Getting the tramps and hobos off our streets and into the workhouses is well worth the cost. Enables the social security institution. Poor laws is providing social security level 1 with plus 20% welfare payments, minus 15% political strength when receiving welfare. Cool. And that took away 10 of our bureaucracy, actually. For running that institution, right? So we're now spending minus 30, minus 10 for level 1 charity hospitals, then minus 10 for level 2 charity hospitals, so minus 20, and now minus 10 on welfare institution level 1. Which means we can actually, just to future-proof ourselves, because soon we'll start to equal our kind of our usage of bureaucracy, and we'll start losing this bonus of state construction efficiency. So we might as well go to our government construction sector and put ourselves to filing cabinets, which means we are now, in addition to paying wages to the government administration, we'll also have to purchase some paper. Alright, so that creates an additional expense in our budget, and we're actually a little low, so it's a good thing we're researching central banking, because we do need to start minting more. We need a bit more money to actually start generating a surplus again. So here we... Oh yeah, we'll get an extra 15 bureaucracy. Perfect. So we have a little leeway. Okay, we have built furniture manufactories to level 2. Excellent. Again, more people employed. Prices are okay. Yep, there we are. Luxury furniture is pretty cheap. Normal furniture is close to base price. Excellent. Another 4,500 laborers and 500 shopkeepers. Or wait, hang on. Furniture is level 2, so it's quite. It takes 1,000. Hang on. Why is it 2,000 shopkeepers as opposed to 1,000? Hang on a second. Hang on. Sorry. Ugh. So plus 1 more furniture. Oh yeah, I didn't actually know this. Furniture manufactories take 1,000 shopkeepers and 4,500 labor. That's interesting. That's why you should read tooltips, guys, even after you play the game for a while. So 1,000 shopkeepers. Or is this... Excuse me. Oh my god. Sorry. Is this because we switched to this? Ah, no. This is because we're producing luxury furniture. Interesting. So I didn't actually know that one of these production methods can also add more people. Yeah, this is why. So we're now producing 2 goods, I guess, maybe. And that's why we need an additional 500 shopkeepers. We were sort of running 2 shops. 2. Okay. Very interesting. I wonder what happens if we switch this to capitalists, right? And then it's 100 capitalists. This, maybe employs 500 shopkeepers. Maybe it just employs more capitalists. I think it probably takes 500 shopkeepers, and then we just have 100 capitalists owning this. And they would kind of be like little co-owners. Interesting. But okay. Our GDP has hit 1 million, guys. Excellent. Excellent. Yep. So we've got, I mean, almost half, or definitely a third of our population is loyalist. No one's radical. Population is increasing. Migration is happening. Standard of living is rising. Perfect 8.6. That means, again, that's why the population growth is increasing. Literacy is just climbing, ticking up a little bit. It's fine. We do need a little bit more from time to time. All right. So, but we have enough qualifications. We got enough, workers, etc. So, again, also progress there. GDP is growing. And that means we're stronger. On to the next 10 years. What else could we do while we're just waiting? We got iron mines and artillery foundry being built. Glassworks would be unprofitable. In fact, artillery foundry will be unprofitable. Steel mills will still be unprofitable. Those will be fertilizer plants or explosives factories. Arts Academy apparently could be. Okay. Let's have a look what show private constructions. Yeah, okay, so they have arms industries and then wheat farms. Wheat farms is a complete waste of time. Interesting enough, in livestock ranches, we could actually put it to increased wool gathering, right? So that it takes more grain but produces more fabric and some fertilizer and less meat. Fabric is actually, at a good price. Meat is actually a decent price. Fertilizer is at a low price because nobody wants it, but we go to wheat farms. Now change our production method to soil-enriched farming, which will take 5 fertilizer, exactly what we produce, and produce double the grain. So let's see. Maybe this will attract some workers into here. Yeah, we do have some barracks. We could... That's cool. We could build our military up a little bit. Just... so then we're going to have to... It's just going to be standing there. It would increase, right? It would increase the support for the armed forces... armed forces interest group, which does have traits of veteran consultation, which gives plus 10% military research speed, and patriotic fervor, which gives plus 10% offense and defense. So we will need their support eventually, but especially this trait would be very nice to get. That means we need to get loyalists in there. That means we need to get more pops, and they need to increase their standard of living. Right? And this would be technological advancements are changing the face of war, but we can only make use of them if we understand how. Fortunately, those of us with first-hand experience should have an idea. But it's okay. We have 4 years for central banking, yeah, and then another 5 years for postal savings. So it'd be a while before we actually research anything military. So we don't need that right now. So no point in building barracks. What else can we do? Let's keep looking. We're looking at our market and looking at the trade highlights. So goods with considerable potential for export. Wine. Okay. If you say so. Where's the wine? Okay, we could actually export some to the Russian market. Alright, so the predicted price on Russian market almost negligible, but for us, okay, we'd sell our goods a little bit more expensively. Could export sort of 5 wine to Russia. And it does cost, probably doesn't cost bureaucracy because we have free trade routes. We could establish one. What else do we produce that's cheap? Considerable import demand. Paper. Paper is still expensive. Furniture is expensive. Tools, iron, tobacco. Okay, let's have a look. Tools. Okay, plus 23% still. So we could actually build tools workshop. Let's go buildings. Actually, yep, queue up tools ahead of artillery again. More furniture. Furniture is okay. Tools, we could definitely use more tools. Paper, there's still more paper required in the Ottoman market. Sulfite pulping, but we'd need to import sulfur, maybe. If it got too expensive, but for now it's okay. Okay. Okay, so not these just have missing probably like a few. Oh no, actually food industries is completely non-operational. Why is that? Yeah, okay, this is not too surprising, to be honest. Okay, we could actually switch to pot stills, and the game tells us that after good substitution, the profitability of the building will be plus 410. Seems like liquor is needed more than groceries. Groceries will go up in price because there's now less supply, but liquor, probably more of it's needed. Let's have a look. Okay, so can you hire more people? Could not hire laborers. Just labor textile mills. Okay, there's just the wages. The wages now market are a little too high. Oh, wait, hang on. Let's pause. We almost forgot to pass censorship, guys. Christ, I'm sleeping at the wheel here. So let's go ahead and pass censorship. It should be fairly quick. And we have good bonuses to enactment time, right? Do we still have those? Oh, minus 15%. So, okay, authority. We only get 15% enactment time reduction. But we have 50% success. So let's go past that. And then we can have a look. Okay, Petite Bourgeoisie now has 13% clout. So could we switch? Okay, well, let's see. Let's pass this, and then we'll see what other laws can we actually pass. Meanwhile, let's keep looking at our market goods. Let's actually see. Okay, this is the whole of Ottoman market. Local prices. Let's have a look. What do we produce that's, for example, cheap? Okay, well, locally we produce a lot of paper. We produce a lot of wine, although we are now consuming 8. Okay, luxury. Iron we're producing a lot of. Furniture, this and that. Glass, fertilizer. Okay. Yeah, liquor is actually a luxury good. I didn't know that. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything we can really export. Our small arms, no. Silk we don't even have. Paper. Our meat. Luxury furniture we could. Persian market. Okay, luxury furniture in Ottoman market will go up by just 1. Persian market will be reduced. It doesn't really change all that much for us. Liquor. Nejdi market. Hardwood. Yeah, the volumes aren't really big enough. You could so like 5. Okay, censorship has successfully progressed to the consideration phase straight away. Perfect. Okay, furniture, fruit. Okay, nothing. Nothing for us to trade. Prussian-American rivalry declared. Austrian-American rivalry declared. Embargo. United States began embargoing Mexico. Okay. We are concerned with our Serbian brothers. Are we still? Yeah, we're still getting migration. Excellent. Excellent. 20,000. So we're getting... Yeah, 20,000 pops per year. So that's in 10 years, we should have an extra 200,000 pops, right? That is strong. 200,000 pops, of which 50,000 will be, you know, working age males and potential soldiers. And we're helping our Bulgarian and Serbian brothers to escape the Ottoman yoke. So, yeah, let's have a look. Input goods shortages, fertilizer shortages in Ottoman market. Paper is expensive, iron is expensive, tools are expensive. Okay, tools we're building. Iron mines, okay, struggling to hire. United States of America is improving relations with us, sure. Let's have a look at our improved relations. No, I mean, we're still improving relations with these. Sure. Sorry, where were we? And our buildings, tooling workshops. Yeah, iron they said is expensive. Paper is just plus 11. Iron is still hiring people. Iron tools and paper. Well, building those, so that's fine. Minor war on the Ottoman market. Fertilizer shortage. Well, for that, we need law progress to adoption. Excellent. That was fast. Fabric, fertilizer, and meat. Interesting. It's not hiring. Livestock ranchers failed to hire. Try again on 12th of March. The wages in livestock ranchers are based on its economic situation. In order to afford to attract more pops to the workforce, its weekly balance should be improved. You can influence this by either making the goods it consumes cheaper or by making the goods it produces more expensive. This is done by increasing or decreasing supply and demand on the Ottoman market. You can guarantee that the workforce is paid a competitive wage by subsidizing the building. This will keep it afloat by using money from the Serb treasury if necessary. Yeah, so it seems just our other buildings are so productive, including, I'm surprised, subsistence farms. Even there, people get sort of better deal than here, which is okay. Right, it's okay. I guess maybe with time that will adjust by itself. Let's go ahead and go to we can go to speed 3. Yeah, let's pass this, and then we'll think about the laws and where are we gonna take our nation next. But encouragingly, okay, so industrials have dropped off a little bit. Petite bourgeoisie is now at 15%. Landowners are at 23%. So landowners have consistently lost clout. We have to keep them in government, unfortunately. So we always have to keep them in government because we get 50 legitimacy from having our head of state's interest group in government, right? And they do still have a decent amount of clout. But we're going to have to need to bring in petite bourgeoisie to start moving our country forward a little bit. There we go. We now have censorship. There's active censorship of the press and no guaranteed right of assembly. Let's go ahead and pause. Government petition completed. Excellent. Right? That means we have a whole lot of loyalists. Change from rights of assembly. We're going to get less technological spread. That is unfortunate. But we will be able to shape our society a bit better. Now, we're coming up on the hour, so I think we should cut here because, yeah, at the start of next episode, let's actually have a look at, yeah, what we need to do with our nation. We'll look at the laws and see what's available and where we can take ourselves. We can take our nation. How else can we improve ourselves, our economy? I don't think we can raise our population growth any higher. But how do we continue to grow our economy? Right, and bring our nation to unity and, I guess, expansion, or its unification of its homelands. But I hope you enjoyed it, guys. If you did, then yeah, I mean, give it a like if you want to. Otherwise, I really hope to see you in the next one. If there have any questions, again, as always, just let me know down in the comments, or any suggestions. Again, I really appreciate all of them. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye.